Hi, family. I am so glad you are back. It is African Osorenko, and I welcome you back to my channel. So, family, today I just want to come to you and we have a discussion about white supremacy and how it affects, every facet of Black American lives and how there are some ways I think we have to really move in order to combat it. Okay, so family, I'm going to read a little bit, a snippet from a, um, a newspaper article, a news article. Okay, and this is going to come from the Center for American Progress. Okay, and it's an institute that says they dedicate themselves to ensuring equality for all and that there is no inequality, in America, in the American system, um, that is affecting people. But family, we know that this is not the complete case. We know that often going on within this system that are affecting our people, uh, most undoubtedly. Okay. I'm going to read the Copyright Disclaimer Act so that we don't break any rules, okay, or YouTube laws. Okay. The Copyright Disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, scholarship, and research. Okay, family? So let's get into this. All right. It says systematic inequality, displacement, exclusion, and segregation. How America's system undermines wealth building in the Black community. Family, we know this to be true. The United States must reckon with the racism built into its very core system in order to ensure that all Americans have the opportunity to build wealth. For centuries, structural racism in the U.S. System has contributed to stark and persistent racial disparities in wealth and financial well being, especially among the Black population. And there has been a huge disparity between Black and white communities as far as income ratio and wealth, okay? In fact, these differences are so entrenched in the American system, okay, that if current trends continue, it could take more than 200 years for the average Black family to accumulate the same amount of wealth as its white counterparts. Just let that sink in, family. Just let that sink in that it could take 200 years for Black people, Black communities, Black families, Black children to gain the equal footing as their white counterparts. So you can right now work three jobs. You can be working three jobs. You can be saving money. You can be, doing all kinds of things to ensure that your family has wealth. But collectively, as a community, it will take us 200 years. Okay, so we have to look at that. While while affordable housing, equal opportunity employment, and also um, equal business loans are part of this racial inequality, lawmakers has not made amends for past and present harms, enacting laws designed to expand access to the prosperity for all Black Americans, for all Americans. So, you know, and we can't just say family, just white people. You know what I'm saying? There are other people coming into this country from other communities that are able to build wealth in a short amount of time. There are some coming in legally, and then there are those that are coming in lately here illegally, but are being giving access to funds and opportunities and programs and policies that they will be able to then go and build wealth for their community collectively. This is something that has not uh, been done for the Black community. Black communities have experienced and continue to experience displacement as well. For Black communities in urban areas, public policies have often been enacted under the guise of creating new public spaces, combating urban blight, or bolstering economic development. But over time, these policies have stripped the Black community of wealth and financial stability found in other communities. And we see this every day. We see stores popping up, family, in our community, that are owned by other communities. So the wealth, they're making their money off of us, and then taking that money and going back to their own communities, which builds their communities. But we often see many Black owned businesses in the Black owned community. And family, this is done by design. That's just plain and simple. It is not because Black people are lazy. It is not because Black people don't want to build themselves economically. It is not because Black people are not are people that don't want for anything productive. It is because this is done by design by the white supremacist system to prohibit Black building wealth. Um, it goes further to read, for example, in the early 1850s, New York City lawmakers used eminent domain to destroy a thriving, predominantly Black community in Manhattan. Um, Displacing thousands of residents in order to create the public space known today as Central Park. See, so family, this has went on. These kinds of tactics they've used to just dismantle Black communities. They don't do this in other communities. They don't go into the white community and destroy their towns and houses. Now, lately, we're seeing some things happen to their community as well. But that just shows this government didn't care about them, just like it didn't care about us. It doesn't care about us. But they didn't listen to that. They thought the government cared about them. Okay, family, we got to understand how we got to this position. I am not saying that there are things that as a community that we don't need to work on amongst ourselves. We don't need anybody to tell us what we need to work on. We need to get within ourselves and work on our own issues. But the one thing we know we didn't create is the economic situation in our community in America. We didn't create that. That was created for us by another group. Okay. And just 30 years ago, Atlanta lawmakers demolished the United States' oldest federally subsidized affordable housing project, which displaced more than 30,000 Black families to create Centennial Olympic Park. This has been going on. Family, I grew up and was raised in Illinois. And I remember in Chicago back in the day when they started closing all the projects out. And moving the people out because they were building up brownstones for for another community to come in and take over. They could have built better buildings and communities and brownstones for the black community, but they didn't. That's not what they did. These are just two examples of the countless policies that have displaced Black communities for the so called benefit of the greater population. See, family, the problem is they have no problem uh, doing us in for the greater good of the whole human civilization. They have no problem doing that. You know what I'm saying? But to give us anything in reference, not at all. Um, it goes on to say, but there is scant evidence that Black Americans see long term benefits from these revitalization efforts. Okay? For much of the 20th century, federal, state, and local policies subsidized the development of prosperous white suburbs in metropolitan areas across the country. They also constructed new highway systems, often through communities of color, or let's not say communities of color because they always put this communities of color. No, Black communities, often through Black communities to ensure access to job opportunities in urban centers for primarily white commuters. Over time, changing tastes and growing displeasure with congested roadways have resulted in middle class and wealthy white households relocation to cities. As lawmakers rush to redevelop previously neglected urban neighborhoods, family, and let me tell you something, I'm living at right now. In the neighborhood and community that I'm living in, they are actually in the process right now of gentrifying it. And there is not one of our politicians saying one word about the gentrification of our community. Okay, now it has gone abandoned, and they've done nothing for the community. But now they want to come in. Oh, and we're gonna put up this, and we're gonna put in this store, a Lidl, a Little, whatever it is called. We're gonna put other things in the community. We're gonna put some gyms there, start building up. We, and might I add, like the article says, making adjustment to the roads, doing everything they could have done previously, but they don't do it until they want to take over the community. So it goes further just to talk about how lawmakers could have constructed more affordable housing units and created programs to insulate long term city residents from the disruptive effects of gentrification. Many appear to draw heavily from the ideology of manifest destiny that white settlement and expansion are inevitable in their responses to such rapid development. So, it's just, family, that we have been put in a situation where our communities have been an afterthought, a long afterthought, just like we are. Just like in this area, this political area right now, you have the Democrats, and I'm not a Democrat nor a Republican, but you have the Democrats coming forward, feeling like they're entitled children, like Black people, you're supposed to vote for us, okay? And they haven't done jack nothing for us. Nothing. Jack shit is what I want to say. They've done jack shit for us. But now you want us to vote. Black men, I'm going to say this to you. I'm not a Black man, but I feel like I do have a right to say something because this is my community as well. Please don't fall for the okey doke, Black men. Now, I don't feel like we should be voting for the Republican or the damn Democrats because neither one of them are doing anything respectively for our community. They're not. And you have a lot of misguided Negroes that get online and argue and cap for these Democrats, and it's really insulting and it's really disgusting to see. Okay, you believe in what you believe in, and you believe in who you want to believe in, but you should not be online trying to force some down somebody else's throat what you want them to believe. Okay, I was raised as a Democrat by Democratic parents who were probably raised by Democratic grandparents. Okay. I do not believe in it at all. I believe in voting for policy. And if there are no policies being put in place for my community, then there will be no votes coming forth. And I think we just really got to just get there, family. We have to stop being afraid, okay? This situation where the Democrats have come to black men, okay, now you want to come to black men and talk to black men in the 23rd and a half hour? You didn't come to black men 6 months ago. You didn't come to black men 3 months ago. But now, with literally probably 20 days, and I think it was less than that, probably I'm gonna say 14, 12 days, okay? 12 days before the damn election, then you want to come and address black men. Black men, don't be a fool. Please, I know y'all are not stupid like that. You all are too smart. You're way smarter than that. Show the Democrats that you are. I do not advocate for voting for Trump, but I definitely do not advocate to vote for the Democrats either, because neither has done anything for us. And as Brother Malcolm told us so long ago, they are two wings on this of the same dirty bird. They are. Family, we have to know that we cannot continue to vote for nothing. If the Democrats are offering the black community something, then we can vote for them. But if they're not offering us anything, we should not vote for them, family. Okay? We have to remember that. It's about what can you do for us and what have you done for us lately. Okay? You know, at the end of the day, I want to say 2 videos, but there have been in the last, I want to say 7 weeks, 4 to 5 that we know of that are known, black men, truckers that have been lynched. 4 to 5, family. That is a lot. And that's the ones we know about. What about the ones that we don't know about? When brother, I think his name was Raheem Carter, the young brother that was murdered, I believe, in Mississippi. When they found this young brother's remain, he was not a trucker. This was another young man. But when they found this young man's remains, they found other remains, not just his. They found other remains of people that have not yet been identified. Family, this kind of thing is going on and on and on, and it does not matter who you are voting for. It does not matter who you are voting for. I can never say all lives matter until Black lives matter. And once Black lives matter, then we can say in conjoinship, all lives matter. But until then, I'll never say it, because all lives don't matter if Black lives don't matter. Okay, period. Family, I pray that our community will come together, because we are all that we have, and we must actively um, accept that. We must actively work together as a family, as a community, which we are. And I'm talking about globally. That means Africans, that means Caribbeans, that means Haitians. Y'all got to get y'all shit together and come unite with us. All of this I'm not black shit in America, it doesn't work. It doesn't work, and little by little you're finding it out that it doesn't work. We have to come together globally. And the coons that's in the UK too, because there's a lot of cooning in the UK as well. And y'all bring that over here. We have to come together and bridge these divisive gaps and cease this gender war, because all of these uh, ignorant women and ignorant men that are bringing this gender war, you're the ones that we're going to have to take. We're going to have to send you somewhere to the quietness, because we cannot continue to allow that in our community. It's about coming together. We're now in the 29th hour, 29:59, and all we got is 30 hours left, or it's 30 hours total. So we're in the last hour that we need to really be working on this and coming together and bridging these gaps. I thank you, family, for joining me. I thank you for watching me. I thank you for subscribing, for liking, and for sharing. I pray that the Most High will protect you as He protects me and my family, and protect your families and keep you safe in these times. Family, be kind to another sister or brother, a little sister or a little brother, an older sister or older brother. Look out for each other as other communities look out for each other. Be diligent, Black men. I'm going to tell you a story and then I'm going to let you go. Yesterday, I had a little accident out in the community, going to stores, taking care of business. I fell. And I was with one of my daughters, and immediately, because we were talking to this young man, my daughter and the young man went to help me up and look, because I fell really hard. I really did. I hurt my elbow pretty bad, if you can see it, and my chest area and stomach and knee and stuff. And there were several young men, young Black men, that were standing out there and laughed. And I know young people are silly, and it is what it is. Some of them just really got to grow up. But we are living in an era where a lot of our young Black men have such hateful feelings towards Black women that this is the kind of reactions that you get. And when Black women are being attacked or something happens to them, instead of intervening and like, wait a minute, they're laughing and stuff. And not saying that we don't have some similar issues in some of our young women, but we got to work on that. And we have to raise our children differently. I have a 27-year-old and a 35-year-old, and neither of them was raised like that, and wouldn't think, if they saw somebody fall and hurt themselves, would be on it trying to help them. But even if they stood back and didn't and let other people help them, they wouldn't be laughing. And when I say young men, these were not teenagers. These young men were like in their mid 20s, mid 20s, like my daughter's age, my youngest daughter's age, like 25 to 28 or 29. We have to do better. We do. But thanks so much, family, for joining me. Please come back again. I'll be back with you soon. Have a blessed one. I'm out.